Hey, Carl, welcome to the show. As a way of getting started, give us a little background on yourself.
Yeah, hey everyone. Big fan of the show, Brian. So thanks for having me. I've been following your content for the past few years. Me and my friends love it. Quick background on me. I've been in the tech sales industry about 11 years. Prior to that, I worked in the hospitality industry, have a certification in wine. I had a DJ business, worked intern for a radio station. So I got a diverse background, and I just wanted to do this interview to show everyone. I know a lot of young kids are breaking into sales. It's a great profession. Was great for my family, and you can be from any background to break in and succeed.
Well, what was that first year like in sales?
I'll tell. So basically, I bartended for Legal Seafoods, finishing my degree in my 20s, and DJ'd on the weekends, and worked for my uncle's produce distribution business on the phones. That's kind of how I started cold calling. And I met a lot of reps from tech, and they were telling me about the industry. I'm like, all right, I want to break into this, but I had to find an opportunity. So I actually took a step back financially to break into the business, and I took a tough. It was an account manager role, but BDR gig for a smaller division of a company. I drove an hour and a half each way. Didn't make much money to break into the industry, but I supported great field reps who thought highly of me, and got a referral to my next company where I was able to work for a while and train and learn and move up the ranks. So yeah, you will have to do your time as maybe a BDR, but if you just stick with the plan and work hard, you can be very successful.
Well, this is the first two bartenders in 1 week that I'm interviewing.
Well, bartending was great because I dealt with a lot of diverse people, and it
Yep.
helped me build my communication skills. And I had a lot of CEO regulars, and they gave me great business advice. And then I had a top recruiter when the last time I saw him at the bar. I go, I'm moving on. He goes, what are you going to do? I go, I'm going to go into tech sales. He goes, the advice he gave me goes, work hard. If you're good at it, you can write your own ticket. And I always remembered that and stuck with the plan. And it's been, I'm very happy where I'm at in my career and really enjoying it.
Yeah, because I mean, being a bartender, there's a lot of obvious human interaction, a lot of multitasking,
Yep.
a lot of reading people.
Yes, and we worked. There were high end bars for legal seafoods in the airport, so we were trained to upsell like wine, and it taught me the basic skills of selling, face to face selling, and it helps with the transition into tech sales.
Wow, at the airport. So
Yeah,
you
I met a lot of cool people. I got a lot. Me and my buddy want to write a book. I gotta get with him. We've got stories. We've got lots of stories.
I've spent quite a time at the legal seafood at Logan.
Yep. We used to work the Terminal B next to US Airways,
Yep.
Terminal C when it was outside, and I helped open the legal test kitchen in A. So I was all over that airport. A lot of friends in and out traveling. College friends used to hang out. My uncle would come in on business trips. So yeah, it was a great experience. It was my single days, and I wanted a career once I settled down with my wife, and that's why I went into tech sales. But I was actually offered a liquor distribution job or tech sales, and I chose tech sales. But I know I have a lot of friends in the distribution industry, and they're doing very good right now in a pandemic. Alcohol sales are through the roof. So,
I bet. And how did you adapt to the bigger company going from, hospitality, your manager, you know,
well,
the,
well, I worked for a corporate. Legal Seafoods is a pretty corporate company. It's not just a restaurant business, right? It was the seafood industry. Roger Berkowitz, I learned a lot. I was able to sit on his advisory board and present. I actually presented to 100 people in focus groups, and I was the head presenter, and we won. So it helped build my presentation skills. He actually he's a Harvard grad. So he knows how to run a business. So I learned a lot just watching him run his business and doing the trainings there. So I think that helped when I went over to the corporate world. So the first lady who hired me, I don't want to get into the company names just out
doesn't
of,
matter.
agreements and NDAs and all that stuff. But the lady hired me. She goes, we like that you work for a brand. So that's why we're taking a chance on you. So working for the brand Illegal Seafoods, when I bartended, the corporate structure was very helpful when I broke into the tech industry.
And how about as far as learning the technology?
I was always into tech, computers as a young age. When I was DJing, we didn't have Apple, so I was burn. My dad used to burn my CDs and my playlists,
Yeah.
and like now I have a Sonos in my room. I'm like, where was this 15 years ago? I wish I had this technology. So technology always fascinated me. I knew it was always changing. So once I got, my next step at the bigger company, they provided a lot of training, and I took the training seriously, and I still do, right? You always want to get better in tech. You always want to learn the latest and greatest in technology. Right now I'm learning how to code. It's always something I wanted to do. I'm going through coding boot camp right now. And after that, I'm going to take some coding classes. So yeah, you can always advance your career. You can always learn more, and you can always get better.
Wow. What language? Python or?
Yeah, they got us on Python right now. So I'm going to learn the basics. And then once I'm through that, I've got an app idea I'm going to create. And then I found some online classes after that through Duke University that I'm planning on taking.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
And what do you like about sales?
You told me to, just, be myself on this and what am I passionate about. So the things I'm passionate about a lot of things, but if I had to pick one thing, people, right?
Yeah.
So many businesses have let me in and shared, what they're looking to do, their ideas. Sometimes we win a deal. Sometimes we don't, the deal doesn't make sense, but all the knowledge I've learned on how other businesses operate, my ultimate goal is to start my own business eventually down the road. And I'll probably take everything I learned through all the discovery and the meetings with these companies and the transformations we did, is going to be helpful when I start my business. So people, that's why I'm doing this today. I miss hugging my friends at a happy hour. So I'm throwing this on social media so everyone can just rag on me in the holiday season and we can have some fun, because social media, I went to school for it. I work at it. It's a way for me to connect with my friends, especially in the pandemic. So you can catch me on LinkedIn in the day. You can catch me on Instagram at night. And you can see my kids on Facebook through my wife's account, all my family and friends. And that's how we stay connected.
Well, you have the advantage in that Boston, everyone's so friendly and welcoming.
Well, you're a Boston guy. That's why.
I am,
That's
so
why
I can
follow
say
you.
that,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. You're a fellow. What do they call us? Massholes? Can I say that on here? So yeah, no. Actually, my new company, we use Slack, and it's been extremely beneficial because I just started a new job, and I've made so many friends through Slack. We're setting up mountain bike rides in the spring, a potential golf outing. So social media is critical to business. It was in the past, and it's 10 times critical now in a pandemic to stay connected. So. And they like to call us massholes on the Slack channel.
And do you sell only into New England, or is it everywhere?
Yeah. So the new role I'm starting, I'm going to cover East Coast accounts. I'm training right now, and we'll have my territory in January. But prior to that, I was focused on the healthcare vertical, and I traveled all over before the pandemic. But I got to meet a lot of cool people in cool places. I know you're in San Fran now. I got great friends there. I miss my trips out there. I got a high school friend there. I used to hang a couple of days, go to a Giants game. I'm looking forward to that again. I had the opportunity to travel to Amsterdam a couple of years ago at my last company. Well, what an experience that was. So I love to travel. I took a territory in the Central. I used to jump planes every week. So I miss traveling, seeing new things. I'm more of an adventurer, I'd say. So I'm looking forward when things get back to normal and I can go see my customers face to face.
And what do you think you do better than other reps or different than other reps?
I gave advice to a sales team trying to break in. You got to have a plan, right? You just can't call people. I'd rather take a week, right? I'll get my territory. I'll spend a week on the territory plan through data and statistics. And it's all about time management, right? You put it on there, lazy reps are the best. They are. You got to qualify early. You got to push it away if it's not a deal. And you got to move on to where you're going to get the revenue. It's all about time management, having a strategy and making yourself better. You got to take the training seriously. You've got to know the trends. You have to wear the customer's shoes. Don't show up to a meeting unprepared, especially if you have a CEO. You should prep for a day, know what's going on with the company, know the value you can bring. A CEO might give you 20 minutes. You better make that 20 minutes worth his time or you're not going to get his time again. So it's preparation, it's work. And learning from others. I've had so many great VPs that took chances on me. I've had some that passed on me, and I appreciate that too, because it just put a chip on my shoulder and made me work harder. So it's all love here, and don't take things personal. It's a tough business. Just stay with the plan. You're gonna have good quarters. You're gonna have bad quarters. Be a great teammate. So a couple stories, like one of my old teammates, we golf every week. He finally got his deal after 2 years, worked for a different company. It text me, hey, we share advice. That's the stuff, guys I worked with before I root for. My BDR calls me over break. He got his big deal at Amazon. Like, he worked under me. I helped train him. That's just as important to me as me closing deals, seeing the people that, you know, I worked with successful in the field. So I just wish everyone well in this industry. You can do very well if you work hard, and it can help your family and transform your life.
Yeah. And other than the people, what motivates you?
I want to retire early. So the
Do
harder
you?
I work now, yeah, I just met with my financial advisor. So I turned 41 in January. I'm done at 55. My stretch goal, I would like to retire at 50 and play golf every morning and coach high school football. That's my goal.
Yeah. You got kids?
Yeah. So I've got a son who's 5, daughter who's 4, Jacob's 5, Gracie's 4, Quinn is 2. We have 2
Wow.
dogs. So the Lombardi household is very full, especially in a
Fully staffed.
pandemic. And my strategy today with you was they're all going to be gone. We're going to do it in the morning. I'm going to have a quiet house. We have 15 inches of snow outside. They're all downstairs. This morning's been a complete crapshoot. I've been shoveling till 6 a.m., but it's all good. We got the earbuds in. So if we have to cut this short and the house catches on fire, you know why. My kids are probably doing something.
You know, I've heard a lot of reps want to retire early, but I haven't seen many do it.
It's all about, you got to manage your money, right?
Yeah. But they were able to. It's just like they didn't have a purpose. I think you've got this purpose outlined.
I'll stay in tech as long as tech will have me, but if I can just invest my money well and, you know, just spend my time giving back to the community and playing golf, my number one passion is golf, second is football, and follow my passions. But I'll probably still do some consulting on the side, you know, and help companies, startups use my experience, maybe do some training. I actually had some time off, parental leave when the pandemic hit to get my family in order. And I spoke to some young kids, sales teams trying to break in, and it was enjoyable. The time I spent with them, they're asking questions and eager to learn. So that's something I'd probably be interested in doing later down the road.
And when you're talking to them, do you have a sense of who will rise and who will fall?
Yeah, you know, you can kind of look at the room and you know, the ones who ask
I don't need
diligent.
names. I'm like looking for characteristics.
Well, one kid on the Zoom, he asked a lot of questions and took a lot of good notes, and they were
Yeah.
great questions. You can tell he's
Thinking about it.
excited. He's excited. And I was fortunate enough to win a sales award. So my uncle asked me to speak to them, and he was excited. And I was like, guys, just ask me any questions if you need help. And my uncle was like, that was awesome. You know, they're sick of listening to me every Friday on a Zoom just to have you and share your experience. And I told them the same thing I'm telling you. You guys need a plan. I go, do you guys have your business plan? They all looked at me like, I go, you got to build a plan. Now's the time too, right? We're kind of trapped here. You know, we're doing the best we can. Customers still need to buy. We need to be strategic, do things virtually, but now's the time to build your plans. Do some training courses. I do them online on my iPad. Like after my kids go to bed, couple hours, iPad's right there. I put my headphones in, even if they're watching YouTube Kids. They love YouTube Kids now. It's driving me nuts. I'll put my earbuds in and just kind of sit next to them on my iPad and just learn about the tech industry.
That's it. I think the plan is so critical because today, you know, you open the CRM, everything looks the same, right? It's hard to tell what is better than the other thing.
Yep, exactly.
So people just go linearly, top to bottom, which is the worst thing to do.
I learned when I was younger, but when I first broke into the field, I was trying to run everywhere and do too much. And my VP sat me down and goes, Kyle, pick your top 10 accounts, spend your time there the rest of the year, and you will succeed. I followed his advice and I blew up my number that year. It was a big year for me. Don't try to take on too much. Speak to all your customers, but qualify early. Right. And then if they're not ready to buy, set them up in some webinars, some educational. Right. Don't bog them down with your SC. Right. We need the SCs on the calls where we're pushing deals forward. You just got to learn how to manage. Right. It's going to be a little hectic. You got to have a system. Everyone's system's different. Like I run a weekly system. Mondays, all my admin work. I don't set up customer calls. People are tired. They're up watching their fantasy team on Sunday Night Football. Unless we have to, I'll always put one on for the customer. I like to start my call. I like to do customer meetings Tuesday through Thursday. Yep. Mondays and Fridays if we have to, but Monday's a good day to like get your forecast in order, get your plan in place for the week. What am I going to do around prospecting? What am I going to do around deal management, pipeline movement? My usually we do a team meeting. We get together as a team, brainstorm ideas. And then I like to stack my calls on Tuesday. Tuesday's a great day. Everyone's refreshed.
Right.
Get them
Warmed
early.
up.
Then you can stack if there's a follow-up call. Hey, all right, we'll follow up on Thursday. Then Fridays, we're actually doing something at my new company. We no meeting Fridays unless you have to because of Zoom fatigue. So take that as a day to build your plan for the following week, or look at what you did this week and look at the month. But like, or educate yourself. Block out 2-3 hours of just taking education classes to learn product. Maybe networking on social media with your customers. I told them, I go, what's your social media plan? They all looked at me. I go, get a LinkedIn page, follow every company you want to sell to, learn the industry. And when something cool happens to the company, comment. Wow, this is great. I go, what are you guys doing for your community? What do you mean? You got to give back to your community, because then you'll start meeting people, and then people buy off people they like.
See, I think a lot of people just want the stimulus response, right? It's like, what am I going to eat today?
Yeah, sales is a plan. It's you got to work at it, but if you work at it and put the plan in place,
you get the momentum.
It can be, you know, I grew up in sales. My dad was old school sales, jumped a plane every week, sold manufacturing equipment to New Balance, Louisville Slugg. I used to get bats and shoes. That's how I know those brands. But you know, he really had a hustle. He didn't have the technology we have today. I tell people we're very lucky we can do our jobs in the pandemic. Like, customers need to digitally transform. We have a huge opportunity ahead of us. We're very fortunate. And back in the day, we just didn't have this technology to do our jobs. We didn't have social media. Social media is a great way to prospect. That's where you're going to get most of your leads these days. And then they're going to turn into calls and emails.
That's it. Now, I always thought I would be strong at what other people were weak at. Okay. Like that planning, time management. Most reps suck at it.
Yeah. Well, it's a work in progress too. I was fortunate when I after the first job, I went to a larger company and I started as an inside rep, but I was very fortunate. I mapped to a field of 5 senior field sales reps who've been in the industry 20 years. I sat on all their deal calls. I watched a Mattel deal take 2 years for $9 million go down, and I sat on every call and listened to how the field rep did it. And I took notes and just listened and learned and did the trainings. And that 2 years was so valuable for the rest of my career because I learned from the best in the business.
Yeah. And I think a lot of reps don't get that today because they're working for somebody who has less than 5 years experience. Might have come out of the tornado, one of the big brand companies.
Reach out to someone on LinkedIn with experience. Be like, hey, I'm looking. If people write me notes all the time, I'm like, yeah, I jump on a 30-minute call with people who just want to chat. I'll be like, listen, this isn't a fit for me, but I might know someone. I've worked in healthcare. This is what I'm seeing. And then we become friends and we share ideas. And maybe 10 years from now, we're sitting in a boardroom and thinking of a business idea or helping businesses together. That's how you got to think about it. So when I broke into sales, sorry to cut you off, Brian.
Go ahead.
My uncle was a sales trainer. He goes, read this book. So it was Jeffrey Gitomer, The Little Red Book of Selling, right? I started there with that, my first book. And a quote he said, he goes, it's not just hard work. It's not just smart work. It's called network. And I always remembered that. And I worked at LinkedIn and I knew network was important. And I always prioritized building a strong network because later on, you might need to make a job change. Like, your network is going to be your reference. You're going to need 8 to 10 references to get in these good companies. So right now, you really want to build your network and focus on your network. Smart work and hard work are extremely important, but you got to have a strong network to succeed.
Right. Because people don't work on their network until they need it. And that's the worst time to work on it.
I consider it a job. So I scrub LinkedIn a couple times a day in my downtime. I like Instagram at night. I keep in touch with my friends where my buddies, I'll give a shout out to my buddy, Kevin Keller Photography. He's in San Fran. We grew up together. He goes, I was kind of bored in the pandemic. I had some time off. He goes, get into photography. Sent me videos. So now I got my new iPhone. We take pictures. We send them to each other on Instagram. We edit them. I love golf. I take great pictures of the golf courses. The golf courses appreciate it because they're getting publicity on Instagram. Yep. So I kind of turned a hobby in a way to still connect with my friends that I can't see. Yeah. And we do it all on social media, Brian. Everything's going to go social media.
Well, that's it, because everybody thinks I have like a film crew where I walk around, and it's all staged and written out. It's like, no, I'm just riffing. I'm walking around, working out. I've got my iPhone on a little selfie stick, and an
But
idea pops into my
that's
head.
all. So my buddy has a degree in film. We went to UMass together, Amherst. I did work for him. I used to interview people on campus. He'd film it. He actually got a film degree. I just did it as a side thing, just to, for fun. So I'm overthinking this. I go, listen, I'm starting a new job. Do I need cameras? This. He goes, no, man. He worked for Apple. He goes, you got a MacBook? That's the best camera you can have. He goes, you got an iPhone? I wish I could get the new iPhone. Can't afford it right now. He goes, that's the best camera on the market. Embrace it. So I take video of my kids, put it on Instagram so my aunt and uncle can see it, my cousins can see it, and it's all through an iPhone. I love Apple. I have a MacBook, an iPhone, 2 sets of earbuds, wired and wireless, and I can do my job.
Yeah. And and even if you can't afford it, take the loan out, because getting the gear, because you got to think like an entrepreneur. And I think you've got an entrepreneurial, certainly, background.
Yeah. I grew up in a business type family, and I had some challenges. My dad got sick when I was in college, so I had to grow up very quickly and kind of. I remember moving into my first apartment with the last 600s in my bank account. I'm like, hey, I got to get this done. But it was the best thing for me because it just makes me hustle, and I have a chip on my shoulder, and that's probably why I've been successful in tech sales, because it's not easy, right? Some years are tough, and I had great mentors, and I mean. One of the VP, we hit a happy hour. He was a field when I was young. He goes, Kyle, you're going to do great. He goes, just don't let the highs get too high. Don't let the lows get too low. And it's true, right? It's going to be some tough quarters. You just keep grinding, stick with the fundamentals. Good things will come.
And I think that is a good point, because, the grit is part of it, but, the highs go to your head,
Oh,
and
yeah.
and the lows go to your heart, right? You're like,
Well, I was a young gun, working for a big company, closing deals. I thought I was a hot shot. Now I'm older now. And especially in this pandemic, it put things in perspective, right? Really, it's all about teamwork in sales. Be a great teammate. Well, now we need teamwork more than ever, right? So I'm always there to help. It's my sister's a social worker. She always embedded in my head, right? Pay it forward, pay it forward, pay it forward. And that's what you got to do in the sales industry. People are happy to help. You just got to, find mentorship, reach out. Hey, I'm looking to learn. Yeah, throw 30 minutes on my calendar. Most seasoned sales reps will do that. They've done it for me, and I pay it forward and try to do it for the next generation.
yeah, and just be prepared with questions, real
Yeah,
issues, and open to getting feedback,
yeah, exactly.
not rationalizing why nothing will work.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's network's extremely important, Brian. You know that. You've been in the business for a while.
Yeah. And well, where would you like to take your career next? I mean, you want to go into leadership, or you like being a rep, or?
Yeah, no, I'm really excited about my new opportunity with my new company. I'm really going to embrace it. I'm looking forward to. I've had a little time off. I'm looking forward to getting back in the game and digging and scraping. Eventually I want to lead a team, but I really want to learn the company, learn the product, earn my stripes in the field. But yeah, definitely, I'm looking for a leadership role, and my ultimate stretch goal is I want to own my own business someday. So I'm constantly brainstorming ideas, thinking of business plans I want to write. My uncle always asks me, he goes, when are you going to start your own business? I go, I'm not ready yet, but we'll get there. We'll get there when the time's right. So now I'm excited. I want to learn a code. So I'm going to try to do that. And, maybe I create the next application that changes the golf industry. That's my idea. And I golf every day and generate revenue off that application. That's an idea I have today.
Yeah. Cool. Hey, I appreciate your time today, Carl. Where can people go to connect and follow you?
On LinkedIn, Carl Lombardi, you'll see me on this thing. I'll post my LinkedIn. I don't have it on offhand, but I'm easy to find. I love Instagram now. I'm building my friend network. Carl Lombardi 7 Instagram. Carl Lombardi 7 at Gmail. I love networking. Younger reps. If you ever want to throw time on my calendar, I'm more than happy to help. And I'm always looking to give back to my community. Where I give my time is the Multiple Sclerosis Community Foundation. So I was planning a golf tournament to raise money. Unfortunately, the pandemic held that back. This summer it might happen. So look for promotions on LinkedIn and Instagram. Love people to join, even if they can't get there, donate. What we do with the money, multiple sclerosis affected my family hard. So we give back to families who didn't prepare for this. We buy ramps for their homes. We buy vans to transport them. wheelchairs to make their life easier. So that's where I give my time, but I'm open to volunteering with other people in networking where we can give back to the community, especially in these trying times. I think it's important. We're all very fortunate in the tech industry. We know that, and we all should give back.